Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. It's Valentine's Day. It's also Hump Day, and for some of you, it'll be both, hopefully. 9:30 and 30 seconds into the opening range, the 1 minute open range. We'll be getting all set up here in a moment. Let's just open that up. Here we go. So there's the top and the bottom of the 1 minute, but the 1 minute is not quite done yet. We have 14 seconds left now, 10 seconds for that to happen, and then we will see it move out to the right as we progress. And there's the open range. That's for the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the three sisters, shall we? I'll be cutting out dead air, sideways grinding action, things of that nature to keep this video nice and tight. For now, we are inside of the open range, 1 minute open range on all three. Dow looking to make a move higher here. We'll see if that happens. I'll bring you back if and when we have a trade and we'll talk about it, or I'll just give you a quick recap. It's kind of the direction I'm moving in now, so we'll take it from there. See you in a bit. All right, guys, watching the Dow here very closely. As a matter of fact, I'm entering right now, break of this candle low and stop. Oops, just above. And I'm in, guys, and I'm in. The stop is just above the high here, this little pivot high. You see that there? This is a dynamic play. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm going to explain what I like about this setup. Having felt that I missed the breakdown below the open range and then saw what was happening here on the Dow. Give me 1 moment. All right, guys, primary target is 1R. We'll also see if we can get to 1.5 and 2R. If we're lucky enough to get to 1R, we'll see. This is a breakdown below all of this messiness in the pre-market. I really wanted to get beyond there before getting committed here. And but all three of the sisters actually broke down. Let me see if I can show that to you here. All three, there we go, broke down NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow, but only when the NASDAQ pulled all the way back here into the open range and the S&P did the same thing at the same time. Great break and retest, good opportunities here from a structural standpoint, but how the Dow failed to not only get back to the lower end of the open range, but also to close beyond the 21 EMA, for example. So these two crossed bullish, just barely, as they were tapping back into the open range, whereas the Dow did not. Maintained a bearish posture here, in fact rejecting at VWAP as well. Both the NASDAQ and the S&P handily above VWAP, whereas the Dow remained below. Bearish posture, and that, to me, is worth a coin toss. And there it is, guys. Came all the way back to the initial stop loss. So why did I take this trade? Well, shorting below all of these candles, 2, 4, 6, 8, call it 9 or 10 candles here in the pre-market. In other words, the European session, all of them were taken out by this down candle on the open right here. Here's the 1 minute chart on the right hand side, of course, right? So we kind of sold around for about 3 minutes, dropped all the way down. We also dropped down on the other three sisters, and that's important. See that there? The NASDAQ breaking down below open range, S&P breaking down below open range, and of course the Dow, the one we're talking about, below open range. But here's the clincher, is when we pulled back here into the bottom of the open range, as I mentioned earlier, pulled back into, we failed to pull back into, in fact, couldn't even close above the 21, began to round over, and that's my entry. This is a relative strength, a relative weakness play, if you like, and a very nice setup. I would take this day in and day out because it has a solid intellectual and structural framework to it. Doesn't mean that it's going to work, and this one did not. It's a routine business expense. I'm happy to give one back here today after a very strong week already, and today's only Wednesday. We'll talk to you in a bit, guys. Hey guys, Czar here, back with you watching the three sisters here. This is the S&P, of course. Here's the NASDAQ. Driving back to the bottom of the open range. S&P, which we were just on, same thing. Dow. Give it a moment. Below the open range again. Dow showing signs of relative weakness again. Looking to go short here, guys, right here. If we can get this break below that candle, I'm going to place my stop just inside the bottom of the open range right there. You see that there? All right, guys, here we go. And I'm in, guys. And I'm in. Give me one moment. All right, short the Dow. Very specific reasons why I'm doing this, and I'll explain in a moment. This could move fairly quickly. All three sisters breaking the bottom, breaking the low of the open range. See that there? Low of open range. And breaking VWAP after putting in a pivot on VWAP on the Dow. That's why I'm shorting the Dow here, guys. Still holding up for now on the S&P and NAS, but I'm expecting that those will break as well. And target 1 has been hit, guys, so the 1 hour all or nothing trader has left the game with full profits. Now we're going to sit around and see if we can go further. So far it looks like we're going to. This is a form of a reversal and trend continuation, guys. Bigger picture trend continuation, of course, from big impulse down yesterday, corrective up, and then impulse continuing down, but also reversal from here. This is very important. Now, this is a barcode, right, guys? This is a ranging pattern, and I took it before it had broken out of this barcode. But this really was an anticipation move, given the fact that we had rallied up, not just on the Dow here, but also on the S&P and Dow, and then on all three of them, broken down back below open range, open range, open range, and in this case VWAP as well. These two hadn't broken VWAP yet. That was anticipated. This one did, and that's where I entered. And so this is a very interesting concerted effort amongst all participants to rally above open range, drop down hard below, above, below, above. Never actually getting above, by the way, on the Dow. If I had my original stop from my prior trade that I lost on above the open range, I would still be in it, but I didn't. I was expecting the move to come earlier, and of course it only came later, as you can now see. But that's neither here nor there. Looking to tap the second target now. Let's see if we can get there, and we'll just be patient to see if we can make that happen as well. Of course, we can't make that happen. The market will do that. But trying to get down here to this key support zone here. And target 2 has been hit, guys. Finally, we had to pull all the way back to the entry point here, and now we finally hit 1.5 R. We'll see if we can get to 2 R as well. And there it is, guys. Took a while. 3 out of 4 of the models fully profitable, and the 2R move stop to break even is break even because we hit 1R, stopped to break even, and then stopped out right there just by about half a point, and then continued on down. But we had one losing trade this morning here, trying to go short right here, and then pulling back, getting stopped out, and then some redemption here on this next attempt with a nice 2R win. Thanks for being here, guys. Again, just to repeat, this is a major higher time frame trend continuation, impulse, corrective up, and then impulse down. You will see here in the pre-market and on the open 1, 2, 3, 6 wicks where prices were rejected 6 times, and then created a barcode here on the 30-minute chart. The other ones did too, by the way, the other sisters, and then breaking down below here. This was the key, guys. Coming all the way back up here, double, call it a double or triple top if you like, not being able to get beyond the top of the open range, and then breaking down and breaking structure here. Impulse, corrective, impulse on the lower time frame, 9 below the 21. Simultaneously, we saw what happened here on the 3 sisters, right? The same thing, rallying above open range, at the top of open range, all of them breaking below the open range. The Dow breaking below VWAP, where the other 2 had not yet, and then eventually did with a break and a retest, and a retest, and a retest. Very consistent pattern all of a sudden here after a very messy start to the day, and that's sometimes the way things work. Have an amazing day, guys. Appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.